totally bizarre. The New York Times published an extraordinary editorial complaining that right now everyone is using the atmosphere like a municipal dump, depositing carbon dioxide free. The Times editor suggests that the government start charging for the privilege of imposing a carbon tax. So the New York Times thinks the government should tax us for breathing. Our lungs take in oxygen and emit carbon dioxide so that they can provide the energy for our cells to use to keep us alive, and to also use to move and grow, to thrive. Right now, 8 million people are walking around on the streets of New York City, heedlessly inhaling precious oxygen and exhausting carbon dioxide, treating the skies over the city like a municipal dump, depositing carbon dioxide for free. They're absolutely mad, some of these headlines. Zygmunt Brzezinski said that shortly the public will not be able to think for themselves. They'll only be able to converse the following day discussions through the previous night's news. And unfortunately, he's right. It's happened. If it's not on the TV, it must not be true. For a good example, watch the movie Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro. It went through the whole scenario of how you can con the public by being on TV. They can tell you anything on television and the public will believe it. I'll give you some opinions here that you won't hear about on TV shows, because that's all they are. They're just shows. It's not proper news. NASA says the Martian South Pole's ice cap has been shrinking for 3 summers in a row. So, maybe Mars has got the fever from Earth. If so, I guess Jupiter has caught the same cold too, because it's warming up too, like Pluto. I wonder what all these dwarf planets and moons in our solar system all have in common. I wonder what it could be. So, there is global warming on our other bodies in our solar system that coincides with the recent warming of Earth. Does this point strongly towards the Sun or some other cosmic force as the cause? I think so. I think it must be the Sun. Take Pluto. The average surface temperature of the nitrogen ice on Pluto has increased slightly, less than 2 degrees Celsius over the past 14 years. Since Pluto is moving further away from the Sun and continuing to warm, despite the fact it indicates that something doesn't fit into the solar constant. Dismissal theories. And other worlds in our solar system, leading some scientists to speculate that a change in the Sun's activity is common thread linked to all these events. The head of space research at St. Petersburg Pulkovo Astronomical Observatory in Russia recently linked the attenuation of ice caps on Mars to fluctuations in the Sun's output. Abdusabosovich, the head of space research, also blamed solar fluctuations from Earth's current global warming trend. His initial comments were published online by National Geographic News. The only relevant factor the Earth and Mars share is the Sun. So if the warming were real and related, that would be the logical place to look. The considerable heating and cooling on the Earth and on Mars always will be practically parallel. And how about the global warming on Neptune? Neptune is a planet furthest from the Earth. So, if Neptune is the furthest planet from the Earth, and to our knowledge there's been no industrialisation by us at Neptune, there has been no recent building up of greenhouse gases, there's been no deforestation, no rapid urbanisation, no increase in contrails from jet planes. Recent changes at Neptune could never be blamed on any man-made influence. In case you have forgotten, Neptune orbits the Sun at a distance of 30 times the distance from the Earth to the Sun, and Neptune revolves around the Sun once every 164.8 Earth years. Neptune has 17 times the mass of the Earth. Its atmosphere is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, with traces of methane that account for the planet's distinctive blue appearance. In a recent issue of Geological Research Letters showing a stunning relationship between the solar output of the Sun and Neptune's brightness and forbid the temperature of Earth, in the recent article from Hamill and Lockwood from the Space Science Institute in Colorado and the Lowe Observatory, note that measurements of visible light from Neptune have been taken at the observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona since 1950. There has been a change there in the light of Neptune, and this can be related to seasons on the planet. And this change in the light shows the planet is warming up. Also, Neptune's moon, Triton, at least since 1989, Triton has been undergoing a period of global warming. Percentage-wise, it is a very large increase. Dr. Elliott, Professor of Earth, Atmospheric and Planetary Sciences and Director of the Wallace Astrophysical Observatory, said a 5% increase on the absolute temperature scale from about minus 392 degrees Fahrenheit to about minus 389 degrees Fahrenheit. This would be like Earth experiencing a jump of about 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we get to Jupiter. The latest images from Jupiter could provide evidence that Jupiter is in the midst of a global change that can modify temperatures by as much as 10 degrees Fahrenheit on different parts of its globe. All this has come and made scientists scratch their heads over what could possibly be in common